How come it's been 4 years since BVS has come out and people still talk about it?
And now, you will fly to him, and you will battle him to the death. Black and blue, fight night. The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. God versus man. Day versus night. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
BVS, simply put, is a masterpiece. But why though? I got two words for you: Superman and Batman. One of the big reasons this movie is so good is because it has heart. Most comic book movies do not have heart. When things happen in this movie, you feel it. There are so many moments in this movie where you're heavily involved and you feel for that person. I don't get that from a lot of other comic book movies, but from this movie, I definitely do. The movie flows very well, and I'm talking about the Ultimate Edition. I'm not talking about the movie we saw in theaters 2.5 hours. I'm talking about the full Zack Snyder Ultimate 3-hour edition. It flows so much better from beginning to end. It's seamless, and the time the 3 hours goes by, it feels like an hour. So when you talk to anyone about this movie, what are their main problems with it? Well, one, which you hear all the time, is Batman doesn't kill. Okay? Two, what's the second reason? Oh, the Martha scene. The Martha scene is so dumb. It's beyond stupid. Dumbest scene they've ever seen. Okay, Martha scene. What's the third? Third one is the way that Doomsday looks. Now, these are the three biggest ones that I've noticed. I'm sure there are plenty of others, but from a lot of people that I've talked to, a lot of people that I know, they're the three ones. Batman doesn't kill, Martha scene, and the look of Doomsday. Well, with these three problems, I've got three answers for you. First off, Batman does kill. And again, this was something that I did not know. We were all told from Christian Bale's Batman that this is his one rule. If you don't read the Batman comics, then you're not familiar with The Dark Knight. You're not familiar with Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. You're not familiar with the other comic series that Batman does kill. Now, these are different iterations of the character. Now, BVS is taking after Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. Therefore, this Batman is beat down. He kills. He's grizzled. He's depressed. Yes, this is the Batman they were going for. So, your answer is, yes, Batman does kill. Oh, the Martha scene. People are still talking about that scene to this day and how funny it is to them, and they're always making memes and jokes about it. And that scene was so pivotal. My answer to you is it's a pivotal scene. This man, Batman, looks at Superman as an alien that all he does is cause destruction, doesn't care about the human race, and Batman wants to get rid of it. He wants to get rid of that 1% chance that Superman turns on all of humanity. That's what Batman's trying to stop. But then, in that pivotal moment, Batman realizes, oh my God, he's got a mother too. He is a man himself. He's not an alien. He's one of us. He's got parents. He's got, he's got people he cares about. That's why it's such a pivotal and such a strong and emotional scene that you should feel. You shouldn't laugh at. When I see that, I really feel it. That name hits home. Why? Batman says, why are you saying that name? Why are you saying that name? That's a trigger. Martha is his mother's name. That's a trigger to Batman. And then, oh my God, I can't kill this man. He has a mother that he cares about. And then we have the third one, which is Doomsday, which again, everyone says that, oh, that doesn't look like Doomsday. But did you see him morphing? You were eventually going to get that. He was morphing in to the Doomsday that we're used to, with the bones coming out of his face and his body. And even at the end, his last form, he had a little bit of that going on. Now, if you've listened to Zach talk, there might be more Doomsday in his future movies where you would see him truly transformed into what we're used to seeing. Again, another dumb gripe with this movie. He was just born. He just became Doomsday. So he was transforming into what we know is Doomsday. The imagery in this movie is just out of this world. When you let Zack Snyder direct a Superman and Batman movie, he is not going to let you down, and he did not disappoint us. The third act of BVS is some of the greatest comic book is one of the greatest comic book battles of all time. And then in that same scene where Lois is holding Superman's body and you have Wonder Woman and you have Batman behind them, it is again so powerful and such a vision. It's absolutely ridiculous. It looks like a painting. This is again why getting Zack Snyder to come back to the DC or do a movie like this, to do these comic book movies, he does them right. He gives them the proper visuals they need, the proper story to be told. He gives you the imagery that you want and need, that you strive for in a movie. The movie just has so much in it, so many Easter eggs that people are still finding to this day. So much of Zack's movies get unraveled years and years later because they're like a fine wine. You find more and more about them. And one of my favorite ones, again, to go back to the Dark Knight reference, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight, is there's a quick shot where Batman is holding onto the side of a building and the lightning strikes down when Doomsday is about to laser beam his face off, and quick shot. It's the comic book Frank Miller. It's the Batman pose that's on the front cover of the comic, and stuff like that is so awesome to me. Things that I never even realized until someone brought it to my attention. And now when I watch that scene, I have so much more respect for it. I have so much, like I'm waiting for, oh, there it is, boom. It's awesome. It is simply awesome. Because of Batman versus Superman, we now have one of the greatest Batman fights we've ever seen on screen. Batman/comic book fight of all time. The warehouse scene is brutal. It's fan-freaking-tastic. It looks like it's straight out of the Arkham video game. And to this day, nothing has beaten that fight scene. Another reason to love this movie is Hans Zimmer did the score. Enough said. Man is a musical genius, and he gave us his best work for Zack's movie. And if you're not familiar with Hans Zimmer, please do your research and listen to what he's given us. And every movie that you've seen where you really appreciated the score, he probably did it. Honestly, all the Dark Knights, he's done Gladiator. He's doing the newest Wonder Woman. He's done the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Pharrell and Man of Steel, BVS, and he's just done countless, timeless musical scores for a whole bunch of movies. And the man is just insanely good, and he's my favorite composer of all time when it comes to movies. This movie gave us our first live-action appearance of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash. Now, Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash were just little glimpses, little like 30-second minute clips here or there. But Wonder Woman, she actually was in the movie for a nice chunk of change. And man, did she have the grandest entrance of all time. Again, thank you Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL for that amazing score for Wonder Woman. Her song is incredible. And again, you all, when she pops up on screen, you know it. That guitar riff is awesome. The acting from everyone in this movie is top-notch. And I really, really do enjoy Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor. I think he kills it. I thought he did a really good job. I loved everyone. Perry White. I loved Henry Cavill, Superman. Ben Affleck's Batman. Hell of a Batman. Loved it. Loved the griminess. I loved Jeremy Irons as Alfred. Just everyone in this movie did a fantastic job at acting, and it was top-notch. This movie has staying power, and I just gave you reasons why, and this movie will be continuously talked about for decades and decades to come, because it is still in our brains, and it will be for a long time, because this movie has done something to us. Even the critics that hated this movie are still talking about it to this day, because it's in their heads, it's in their minds. Hate it or love it, this movie has staying power, and it's going to be around for a long time. Trust me, my friends. That's the video. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe because it helps me, and in return, I can help you. And as always, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new content's coming to you from Subjective Reviews, and thank you for watching.